Good morning, afternoon or evening, ladies and gentlemen, all in crypto here, and welcome back, guys, for what is going to be nothing short of another jam-packed daily market update with yours truly. It is Saturday once again, and we are trying to catch a little bit of downtime, hence the unfamiliar settings. I would like to start doing some more videos from home, more sort of just me and the camera videos talking about the space more generally. We'll maybe look to facilitate that in the next week or so. But this is going to be a daily market update, and it is going to be a jam-packed one. We're going to be predominantly focusing on the cryptocurrency market from a technical point of view, taking a look at Bitcoin, taking a look at the total market cap of the cryptocurrency space, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum, looking at many of the altcoins that we've looked at over the past 2 days. In yesterday's live stream, we covered 10 altcoins that we had previously covered that we were expecting to bounce off support in a very kind of initiatory way that you see uptrends begin. Very positive sign. It aligns with where Bitcoin and Total 2 is at and where we think the space is more broadly going. We'll also look at, we did a video after that where we looked at 6 altcoins that all had this sort of falling wedge pattern that were or had broken out and were likely going to see upside. So wherever you look at the cryptocurrency space, technically, you're getting confluence in regards to the direction it's now about to embark in. Also, the seasonality, October. I know there's that pushback there. Everybody expecting October. So it might not happen. I think technically, you know, that kind of thought is perhaps trumped. But we'll be talking about that. That's predominantly what this market update is going to be about. It's going to be a heavy technical one. And I've got some good news to share with you guys to start the video off. This is from CZ, who, of course, was the CEO of Binance before the United States officially hostilely took it over. Quite a mouthful there. Saying good morning. He has officially, the king has returned. He has been freed from his imprisonment. And I'm over the moon about it. I've always said CZ is a great guy, and I actually am very bullish on BNB. Before we get into all the technical stuff, let's actually give you our price prediction for BNB. I think this is going to happen within the cycle. We've already had price predictions met for the BNB token. I think you're looking at BNB's price today is $600. We think it's going to 2,674, in line with the general good time we think is ahead of the cryptocurrency space. You can see our double bottom target was met. This is where you sold off. Binance coin actually looks significantly strong. Now, fundamentally, I'm not quite sure why. I'm just going to take a quick sip of coffee here, guys. However, it looks pretty damn good. And I think this inverse head and shoulders is likely going to take you to 2,674. This is what I mean, you know, to sort of go back to my opening statement at the start of the video. Wherever you look in regards to the cryptocurrency market, fundamentally, technically, bullish. When it walks and talks and quacks like a duck, ladies and gentlemen, it's a duck. So we're not going to be covering. We've covered a hell of a lot of news over the past week. There's been so much to cover in regards to regulatory progression, we should say, in regards to internal crypto news. You know, BlackRock continuing to gobble up Bitcoin, and they're more broadly, I think, going to come into the crypto space in a big way. We've covered what's sort of going on in the markets. We haven't looked, and we might do more of a long video, although we'll tie in the dollar into this one because it's a technical update. But today I really just want to focus on technically where the cryptocurrency space is at. And of course, to do that, we've really got to start with the tide that rises and sinks all ships. And that, of course, is Bitcoin. And we've got a lot of technical confluence in regards to Bitcoin. If we just take this draw tool off, anybody with any kind of a technical background, you know, if you just understand basic trends, you'll understand that this is very much in an uptrend, and this is a pullback in what is a broader uptrend. And the trend is your friend. You expect continuation. So you've got that in your favor, coupled with what we now have 3 technical targets. We were going into FOMC looking at a small time frame target for Bitcoin that essentially gives us around about an $84,000 projection. You can see it's broken out of this sort of trend line, and it's sort of progressing in the manner that we thought it would. You didn't just have this kind of a sort of continuation pattern for Bitcoin. You had it for the US 100, Nvidia. You had it for the S&P. Lots of stocks out there looking very bullish, as we're going to see risk do rather well. And we know that that's likely going to be the case based on what central banks are doing. There's a kind of big picture that plays into the medium picture, that plays into the smaller picture. And crypto really is the smaller picture in the grand scheme of things. But we've got lots of technical confidence. Not only do we have this smaller pattern that sees us move in that upward direction, which is likely given the trend that we're in, we also have an inverse head and shoulders pattern that takes us to 151k. We've got what could be a bull flag that's likely going to take you to 130, and then a potential inverse or a cup and handle pattern. It's very common when you sort of approach new all-time highs, you put a toe above it, you pull back in this kind of a volatile manner before you see that continuation. And we ultimately think that continuation we are on the cusp of. So there's 4 patterns that we're essentially looking at. And even on the smaller timeframes, this pullback is very much happening in a pullback-esque fashion in regards to being descending and broadening. And ultimately, you're making your way to the upside. And with this, you're going to see altcoins, in the same manner that they've overperformed to the downside, start to really overperform to the upside. That's what you have ahead of you for the altcoin market. So we have lots of technical confluence when we look at Bitcoin. We speak often about the kind of macro drivers of all this being obviously central banks through currency manipulation. The dollar very much going to be the permissioner of this. Remember, in every Bitcoin bull market, there's been an element of dollar weakness, and we've been doing a lot of work. One of the few people to do as much work as we have on the dollar in regards to a macro plan, and it's coming into effect. Okay, so this is sort of the mac. If you can get the positioning of the dollar right, you're likely going to do quite well in regards to whatever markets you're in on. Remember, we've got price targets for the likes of Amazon that we still think is to get met. Again, toe above highs, consolidation, ready for that continuation. Tesla, ooh, very close to break. We got clowned for this, but we shall see. Excuse me, guys. Let's stick to the topic at hand, which of course is the cryptocurrency space. So we've covered Bitcoin. When we look at the total market cap excluding Bitcoin, I have reason to believe, or certainly a technical inkling to believe, that this is likely going to get to $3.7 trillion. It's currently at just under 1, so nearly a 4x in regards to price action here. Now, this is the total market excluding Bitcoin. When we look at the likes of, again, broadening fashion in this right shoulder, when we look at the likes of others, which is everything outside of the top 10, this is now broken out. Again, with that reassertion of Bitcoin, you're going to see altcoins go above and beyond. It's about getting in those right altcoins. Do become a Patreon, guys. We do have 100x altcoins. We're seeing a big influx of individuals. We've got a live meeting on Sunday where we'll go over some of the things that we've previously spoken about and sort of get everybody up to date in regards to where we are as a Patreon. We've got stocks that we're into. And ultimately, you know, we will look to cap and refine the Patreon at a certain point because, you know, we can't just keep growing infinitely. We need to sort of put a cap on it at some point. But others, top 10, we think this is going to round about $2 trillion, which you could derive everything outside of Bitcoin in the top 10. So the top 9 likely going to get to about $1.9 trillion, $1.8 trillion. So take from that what you will, but all of these are pointing in the same direction. When you look at something like total crypto market cap, which again seems to be sort of breaking out of this bull flag-esque pattern, you could even give a prediction from this if you wanted to, and say that you're potentially looking at a $4.1 trillion market cap. Now that would align, wouldn't it, and actually be an undershoot in regards to what we're looking at here with others, and of course total 3. You know, this is really where we've been buying. We're majority in altcoin, the market from. I'll go ahead and get rid of these. But you could say this is even a flag-like in nature. But things are very much on the cusp of rocking and rolling. And certainly when we look at the sort of larger markets, also just to very quickly cover, as we're doing a technical update, crypto ETP, so crypto exchange products, also pointing in the exact same direction. Keep an eye on this. This is Grayscale Digital Large Cap Fund. At one point, we were expecting this to 10x. It's progressed significantly since then. Bitwise's fund, this is still around about 10x. Top 10 crypto index fund, 21 shares. Look at this sort of soaring up. Lots of confidence in regards to the direction we think the space is going. Also, when you look at Bitcoin miners, it's a great picture. And yesterday in our sort of live stream, we looked at a number of altcoins that were showing what we would look for in regards to initiating an uptrend. markets move in phases. We teach this in our market mastery course. Ultimately, those phases are base, uptrend, top, downtrend. Just really simplistically, we break it down into numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4. When you sort of go out of phase 1 into 2, you'll often do that with a breakout, and we'll pull the charts up whilst we go through this. You often do that with a breakout on volume, and then you'll get a retest before you see that further continuation. I'll show you lots of examples of this in regards to previous stocks that we've called. Breakout, retest, continuation for Spotify. Coinbase, we were looking to get into this at the 30, 40 zone. Breakout, retest, continuation. American Semiconductor, breakout, retest, continuation. New York Times, breakout, retest, continuation. I can go on and on. BRF, SA, breakout, retest, continuation. You can see what we're looking at here. And the altcoin market is very much looking for that continuation at this point, having found support. We're calling all these in regards to coming into support a few weeks ago. You can see breakout, continuation, retest, continuation. Something like ICP showing similar signs. We'll fly through the 10 altcoins that we looked at in yesterday's live stream. Do go and watch that. We explain it in a lot more detail. Chainlink, US dollar, Dogecoin, HNT, Theta, the graph, Shiba Sheeb. Look at this go. It's up hundreds of percent since we were looking at the support coming into place. LivePeer, BitTorrent, and so on and so forth. BitTorrent's a little bit harder to look at because obviously you've got the things that happen with the token. And then you've also got interesting patterns in regards to many altcoins out there breaking out of sort of falling wedge-esque structure. I'll go ahead and remove this. So Hedera's one. We spoke about Cardano. You know, we're not saying these are going to be the best performers, by the way. Something like Hedera I think is going to do very well, but something like Cardano we think is going to underperform. But we still think it's going to perform. And the reason we're showing this is because this is a predominantly technical update, and we're showing you confluence in regards to Bitcoin, total market caps, ETPs. We could do a whole thing on miners. You know, something like TeraWolf, for example. I don't really speak that much on miners. I do have one miner in the Patreon that I think is going to give you altcoin-like returns. But if we look at something like TeraWolf, it's a miner I know many Patrons have been in since the sort of dollar ranges. You know, we're seeing similar patterns across the board, really. Look at this guy. It's very IWM in regards to movement. And we've not even spoken about small cap stocks. But when we look, wherever we look in the cryptocurrency space, the main takeaway for this video is it's a bullish narrative that you can derive technically. Fundamentally, we think that narrative is there, and ultimately it's just a case about being positioned for what's to come. We think we've got an amazing end to this year, and certainly 2025. Now's the time to be interested in crypto, ladies and gentlemen. On that note, I'm going to love and leave you. I hope you enjoyed this update as much as I enjoyed presenting it. Hang in there, future millionaires, and I'll see you all in tomorrow's daily market update. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one.